On a warm autumn afternoon in May 2025, just outside the quiet suburb of Redland Bay in Brisbane, Australia, a retired wildlife officer named Thomas Green was walking along a narrow dirt path near his property when he heard faint, distressed cries coming from the edge of the eucalyptus grove. The sound was soft, almost like a whisper carried by the wind, but enough to stir something deep within his heart. With careful steps, he followed the sound and discovered a young koala entangled in an abandoned plastic net used once for fruit protection. The small creature, no more than a year old, was clearly exhausted. Its tiny paws were raw from struggling, and its breathing was shallow. The net had twisted tightly around its limbs and torso, cutting into the fur and skin. Thomas's heart ached at the sight. "You poor thing," he murmured, kneeling down gently. Using a small pair of scissors from his backpack, he carefully began cutting the net, making sure not to hurt the little one further. It took nearly 30 minutes to free the koala. Once liberated, the animal didn't flee. Instead, it collapsed weakly against Thomas's chest. That was the moment he knew he couldn't leave it there. Cradling the koala like a child, he took it home and made a small bed in a large cardboard box lined with soft towels. He gave it water from a dropper and prepared mashed eucalyptus leaves mixed with formula. The koala, whom he later named Kuri, meaning little one in the local Aboriginal dialect, seemed to understand that it was safe. Days turned into weeks. Under Thomas's quiet and constant care, Kuri slowly regained strength. Its fur began to shine again, the cuts healed, and the brightness returned to its dark, glassy eyes. Kuri developed a curious personality, climbing onto Thomas's lap whenever he read on the porch, nibbling his shoelaces, or softly chirping in his sleep. But Thomas knew from the start that their time together would not be forever. On the morning of June 30th, with the sky painted in soft lavender and orange hues, Thomas carried Kuri back to the grove where they had first met. He had contacted local wildlife rangers, and they confirmed that the surrounding habitat was safe again. He gently placed Kuri at the base of a tall eucalyptus tree and whispered, "It's time to go home now." Kuri hesitated, looking back at Thomas with what seemed like silent understanding, before slowly climbing the tree. Thomas stood silently, watching until the little gray figure disappeared into the high branches, blending into the leaves and sky. Later that day, Thomas wrote in his old leather-bound journal, "I let a piece of my heart return to the wild today. He was never mine to keep, only mine to protect."